Blessings from a chilly Melbourne. We can begin as usual with some meditation. So I'll give you a little bit of instruction and then we'll just let you go. So please find a comfortable posture. Whether you're on a chair or on the floor, try to sit up straight, put energy into your posture, and that will help you to stay awake. Then bring all your attention back to your body as you're sitting right here. Because probably you'll find all day long today you were letting your mind go out to the world, thinking about many things, reacting to sights, sounds, taste, smell, touch, memories, and then thoughts after thought after thought. So all day your mind has been very active. Now is the time to give it a rest. But when we say we're giving our mind a rest, we don't mean it's time to sleep. And that's one of the first obstacles you might find when you come to meditate. Is that the relaxation of just sitting still, focusing your attention on the in and out breath, puts your mind to sleep. So you have to work hard not to let that happen, even though you are relaxing, having a rest, a mental rest. You have to make sure you stay alert. And the main way to do that is by keeping your attention with the in and out breath, the sensation of the in and out breath at the tip of your nostrils. And the Buddha said to know the breath as it goes in, as it goes out, to know the long breath as long, the long in breath and the long out breath, to know the short in breath, the short out breath, and anything in between, because it's not a breath control practice, it's just knowing the changing nature of your breath. So if you've been active, often your breaths are a bit shorter, more rapid. Once you've been sitting for a while, you might notice the rhythm of your breathing, the length of your breath changes. The rhythm tends to slow down, and the length of the breath tends to increase, and the number of breaths per minute might reduce down a few. So your aim is to know the in-breath and be aware of the in-breath and the out-breath. The full in-breath from the beginning to the end, the pause, and then the full out-breath from the beginning of the out-breath to the end of the out-breath. Really getting to know your own breath, the sensation of it, the length of it, but trying not to control, because that will probably put an unnatural pressure on your breathing mechanism, the influence of the mind on the body. So just try to be aware, be mindful of the breath, keeping the breath in mind, but not forcing it one way or another. And all the while gathering your attention inwards to the breath, using the breath as your anchor. Because our habit is to let the mind wander all over the place, from thought to thought. And even as you're sitting here, you'll notice how quickly your mind wanders off, joining different ideas, memories, concepts together to take your mind away, distract yourself from the present moment and from the breath, which is what you're aiming to be aware of. Or if you hear a sound, or you feel something, a sensation in your body, could be painful, could be pleasure, could be just an itch or something. Everything can distract you. And sometimes we're looking for distraction, especially people living in monasteries or on a meditation retreat where things get really quiet, repetitive, and you might say boring. When it's so quiet, your mind starts to look for things to think of, look for things to look at, think about. Sense contact starts to get less on a retreat or in a quiet place, and so your mind starts actively looking for something new, something different. But that can give you an insight into craving, this kind of internal energy always wanting something to think about, something to do, something to latch onto. So we love to seek out stimulation, to watch things, to listen to things, to imagine and fantasize, to taste and smell things. It's endless. And that's one of our challenges. Not only do we have the challenge of sleepiness as we start to relax, we have the challenge of a mind that wants distraction, that wants stimulation. It'll keep looking for it. So anything that is a bit of a stimulation, even unpleasant stimulation, painful stimulation, like a pain in your body, say, it will take your attention away. You'll think about that. You'll notice it, think about it, wonder about it. So these are all the challenges of training the mind to come back to the present moment and just observe these different kinds of sense contact as transient sense objects, sense impressions. They arise into consciousness, but if you're mindful, you can just let them pass away again quite quickly. But when you forget the breath and you lose your awareness, you'll tend to let the sense contact take over your mind and stimulate you and trigger thoughts and reactions. And that may lead on one thing to another for a long time before your mind comes back to the breath. So that's where you have to be patient and keep your effort going. And remind yourself of the Dhamma. These things are impermanent. You can let them go because they're just impermanent sense impressions coming up, passing away, arising, ceasing. And you can know that when you're mindful and your mindfulness is strong and continuous. But when mindfulness is weak, every thought, every sense impression will fill your mind and take your attention away from the breath. And that's where you have to teach yourself, let go. One monk I knew, he trained himself just to focus on the ending of things as he meditated, so that the breath became more and more clear to him. So if he had a thought arise, he'd just say, "This will end," and he'd watch it arise and then pass away. And he'd just make the ending of each thought, each desire, each reaction to things. He made the ending very clear. As you'll notice, when we're not very mindful, we tend to focus more on the beginning of things. The next new thought, the next reaction, the next bit of sense contact, the next feeling, the next memory. It's new and exciting, and so it will take over the mind. But if you're just focusing on the fact that it's impermanent and it ends, and you keep noticing, oh, another thought has passed by, another sound arose and passed away, another sensation in my body arose, passed away. You can learn something that way, and learn how to let go, and as soon as you see a new thought or a new feeling coming up, you know it will pass away. Before it's passed away, you already are prepared for that. And this can be, for some people, they find this a way to let go. diminishes the power of that thought or that sensation over your mind, diminishes the power to distract you, take away your attention to somewhere else. And if you practice it to completion, you're just noticing the ending of things all the time. Every thought, every image, every sound, smell, taste, touch, it ends. And that's what you become aware of over and over again. So they lose their allure, their attractiveness, and their power over you. And then your mind, the job is just to stay put with your mindfulness, with the breath, and notice things arising and ceasing without getting caught up into them. Ajahn Chah said, compared this to sitting on a chair in your porch or the hallway or the entranceway of your house, your home. You're waiting there in case visitors come, but you only have one chair in your porchway or in the hallway. So any visitor comes into your house, they might get in, but there's nowhere for them to sit because you're sitting on the only chair. So they kind of shuffle around awkwardly and look around, nowhere to sit, and maybe they'll just go out again after, because there's nowhere to sit down. There's just one chair and you're sitting on the chair. If you vacate the chair, then of course the visitor can take it over. So your job is to be mindful from moment to moment, stay with the breath, sit on your chair, and then you can let go of everything else, just to watch things arise and cease. So for the last period, I'll go quiet and just see if you can practice bringing up, strengthening your mindfulness until you hear the sound of the bell.